Hello friends, it's Big E the Yogi. Today we're going to be doing a sun power Vinyasa flow class. It is a beautiful day here in Jacksonville Beach, Florida. Sunny, incredible weather, and the beach behind me here. And I'd like for you to envision your beach, your place of peace, your sense of joy, your sense of happiness, where you find your comfort. As you find yourself in this comfortable seat, begin to become aware of your breath. Maybe facing those palms up, having them on your knees as a way to receive energy and to find the light within. As you become more aware of the breath, I want you to envision with every inhale, bringing light into the body, having it flow throughout. And with the exhale, releasing any worry, any stress, any concerns. This is a time for you to love yourself, a time for you to take care of the mind, body, and soul. So continue with the breath here, deepening that inhale, holding at the top to build up that kombucha, that energy from within, releasing it on out, and holding at the bottom. Another round here. Hold at the top. Exhaling on out. Hold at the bottom. Last round here. Deepest inhale. Really filling those lungs up. Oxygenating the blood. Finding strength, power, and energy from within. Holding at the top. Releasing through the nose. And then holding at the bottom. Wonderful yogis. Let's go ahead and meet up in a tabletop. So planting those palms into the ground, ensuring that the shoulders are stacked over those hands, maybe turning those forearms out forward in front of you, widening those fingertips, really finding power and rooted into the ground. Pressing those shoulders, locking those shoulder loops in, keeping a flat back. Hips are stacked over the knees, and the toes are pointed out back behind you. And here we'll go with our cat-cow series. So with the cow, inhaling that head on up into the sky, lifting that chin, dropping that belly down, lifting the tail, exhaling on down into our cat, curling the back, rounding the spine, bringing the head in between those arms, continuing to stay rooted, inhaling back into our cow, exhaling into our cat. Inhale. Exhale. Coming back to a neutral position in our tabletop here. We're going to extend out that right leg and bring it on over the left bent leg. So you're going to feel this in the IT band. And what I'd like for you to do is take that gaze over the left shoulder and try to look at those toes behind you. This is a wonderful lower body stretch, a great way to warm up those hamstrings, the calf, the legs, really pressing through that heel, and then coming back to center as we move on to the other side. Extending that left leg out behind you, bringing it over that right leg, dropping it, planting it on the toes, pressing through the heels, gaze goes over the shoulder. Continue to be mindful of the breath here as we go through our warm-up. Coming back to center in our tabletop. We're going to curl those toes behind us, and with the inhale, we're going to lift the knees off the ground, and then with the exhale, we'll press on up into our downward facing dog. Beginning to warm up the body here by walking our dog. Be pumping those heels, continuing to root through those hands, and really driving length and bringing that head in between those arms. Rising those hips up into the sky, pushing the tail up, and now Go ahead and come to a neutral downward facing dog and continue to press those heels down into the ground as far as you can. Building the fire within that we're going to use to fuel our power flow here. Let's go ahead and inhale and lift those heels off the ground. Exhale, bend the knees, gaze forward. Step to the top of your mat, bringing those feet right in between those hands. Continue to keep that bend. Find a ragdoll pose here. Maybe grab those elbows, sway side to side. You can also keep the hands down, planted on the ground. Really driving length in those legs, bringing the chest to the thighs. The inhale, go ahead and halfway lift. And exhale on down. Inhale, rise up to the top. Exhale into gratitude. From here, we'll go into our Sun A, finding our sunshine from within. Inhale, rising those arms above. Exhale, forward fold on down, keeping that back flat. You can reach for your shins, your ankles, your knees, whatever feels right for your body here. And with the inhale, come up to a halfway lift, maintaining the length in those legs. And with the exhale, folding on over, planting those hands by your side, stepping back and lowering the chest all the way down to the ground. Releasing those feet out behind you. Move into our Cobra series here. So we'll start off with the low Cobra. Again, really making sure we're keeping those feet together, legs together, pressing together. And with the inhale, we're gonna lift our chest off the ground, taking our gaze out straight ahead. And you should be able to take those hands off the ground here. If you need them for support, have them there, but try not to put too much pressure. You really want to drive your length with the lower spine here. Come on down with the exhale. And with the inhale, we're going to rise a little bit further than last time, maybe into our King Cobra here. With the King Cobra, you want to maintain your lower body, your thighs onto the ground, pressing through in the pelvic triangle, really finding that length in the chest and engaging that spine, the lumbar spine there. Exhaling on down. For our last one, we're going to go into an up dog. If up dog is not in your practice, feel free to go either to a baby curl or a King Cobra. So with the inhale, we're going to rise on up, taking those legs off the ground. Now with the exhale, curling those toes in, coming into our downward facing dog. We're gonna take one flow from here, so go ahead and inhale up into our high plank. Exhaling on down. Inhaling in with our chest up. Either baby cobra, cobra, or up dog. And exhaling back to our downward facing dog. Beautiful. And now from here, we'll inhale, lift those heels off the ground. Exhale, bend the knees, gaze forward. Hop or step to the front of your mat. Finding that forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. And inhale, coming, rising all the way to the top. Arms out above. And exhaling down into our gratitude. Beautiful yogis. Now we'll move into our Sun B series. A little slight variation from the Sun A, which we'll go through here together. So with the inhale, well, first we'll find our Tadasana, right? So our mountain pose, keeping our feet hip width distance apart, rooted into the ground, the soles of the feet, engaging those thighs by pressing into the heels. And now we inhale on up into our chair. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come into the halfway lift. Exhale, plant those hands, step back, lower on down to the ground. And with the inhale, rising that chest up above. Exhale, down into our downward facing dog. Inhale, rising that right leg up into the sky, pointing those toes back. With the exhale, bending that knee, gaze forward, step to the front of the mat. Coming into our warrior one with that inhale. Focus should be here on driving length on that back leg, a slight bend in that front knee, rooted through those feet, rising those arms out above, driving that chest up, shoulders are down, keep them away from the ears as best as you can. Palms are facing each other, thumbs are back, chin is tucked. An incredible pose and shape for power. We all have an inner warrior within. Just gotta find that spirit, that fire to light it up. Exhale, on down. Plant those hands, step back, lower, and with the inhale, coming up into our Cobra Up Dog. Exhale, into our Downward Facing Dog. Inhale, left leg flies to the sky, finding length, pressing through that right heel. Exhale, bend the knee, gaze forward, step to the top of your mat, and inhaling on up into our warrior one on the other side. Dropping those shoulders, remaining rooted through the ground, finding length in that back leg, bend in that front knee, chest rises up, chin is tucked, gaze straight out ahead. Focus here. Continue to be mindful of the breath. Exhale, come on down, plant those hands, step back, lower into our chaturanga. Inhale, chest on up. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, lift those heels off the ground. Exhale, bend the knee, gaze forward, step or hop to the front of your mat. Inhale into our halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale up into our Uttanasana, our chair. Driving those shoulders down. Take a look down. Make sure you have your knees behind those toes. And exhaling on up into gratitude. Maybe shaking the legs out a little bit, releasing some of that burn. Starting to build up a lot of that fire from within. Our last series here will be the warrior dance. Let's go ahead and inhale on up, rising up, arms above. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, chaturanga. Inhale, urva. Exhale, adho. On this side, we're gonna inhale over that right leg up into the sky. Exhale, bend the knee, gaze forward, step up to the front of your mat. Inhale up into that warrior one. Exhaling into the warrior two. Take a moment to check in here. Look at those feet. Are they grounded? Is that front knee bent? Is that back leg lengthened? Have that chest point towards the long edge of the mat, keeping the back toes pointed towards the long edge as well. Dropping those shoulders. Engaging those shoulder loops. Gaze is out in front, fingers are wide. Lengthen those arms. Inhale on up into the peaceful warrior. Couple options here. You can reach for the calves, or you can take a bind here if you'd like. Gaze can be up at that top hand. Really drive length, extension. Go ahead and release on out of that, coming back down into our warrior two. The next exhale, hinge on over into our extended side angle. You can place the elbow on the knee, keep that back hand lifted, rising above, ensuring that shoulders are stacked. You don't want to be leaning over like this. Really try to focus in on driving that arm up into the sky. You also have the option here to find additional space by reaching further down, but just make sure if you do, you're keeping that chest pointed up. Shoulders should be stacked. Keep that bend in the knee. With the inhale, gaze forward, down at your mat. Exhale, windmill the arms over. Plant those hands, lower on down. Inhale, chest up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, Lift that left leg up into the sky, toes pointed up. Exhale, bend the knee, gaze forward, step to the front of your mat, inhaling on up into our warrior one on the other side now. Take a moment to check in the shape here. Starting at the feet, back foot should be pointing towards the long edge of the mat. Front foot is pointing forwards. Slight bend, there's 90-degree bend in that front leg, lengthen that back leg. Exhale on down to our warrior two. Take another moment here to check in. Feel the shape, feel the feet. Look at the legs. Make sure chest is pointing to that long edge of the mat. Arms are lengthened, fingers are wide, gaze is out of the front, towards that front hand. Inhale, rising up to the peaceful warrior once again. No two sides are the same, so if you want to take a different variation here, feel free to do so. You are welcome to. Keep that gaze up at that top hand. Take a bind if you'd like. Coming on back into our warrior two. Moment to check in, and with the exhale, moving down into our extended side angle. Same options here. Either elbow to knee, drive it down to the ground, or feel free to take a bind in your practice. Ensuring that you're always focusing on keeping that chest lengthened and pointing out in front. Finding a point of focus. Focus on one point on the wall and the ground, and find your balance from within. The inhale, bring the gaze on down to the mat. Exhale, windmill those hands over, planting them, lowering, inhaling on up into our up dog or cobra. Exhale, down into our downward facing dog. With the inhale, lift those heels. Exhale, bend the knees, gaze forward, hop or step to the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward. Inhale, rise. Exhale, gratitude. Take a moment here to take a break, towel off a little bit. We're gonna go into our balancing series from here. Do whatever you gotta do to catch that breath. Find your peace. Focus on the breath. Whenever you're in times of stress or anxiety or worry, the breath is what's gonna save you and release you. So when you've had a chance to kind of rest up, towel off, and get some water, go ahead and meet me at the center of your mat here. We're gonna find our weight in that left leg. So finding a slight bend in the right knee as we drive and root through that left leg. Finding a focal point again, this is called your drishti. Keeping that gaze in that focal point, it could be a mark or a line, whatever it is. And then rising that right leg up into a 90-degree. You can reach over for it with both hands clasping at the soles. And go to a fingers to toes and extending that leg on out. You can bring that left hand to your hip. If you decide to go with this, your focus should be on keeping that spine lengthened. Finding space. You don't want to be hunched over here. That means bending the knee a little bit. That's okay. Focus on driving that spine up towards the sky. All right. This is our pada A. Move into our pada B by bringing that leg over to the right side. If you're in a bend in the knee, just go ahead and bend it on over. If you're reaching for those toes, same principle here. Space in the spine and length. Bringing it on back to center. Go into our pada D. So releasing that hold, and with the inhale, rising that leg out in front. Exhale, bringing it back, stepping it back into our pyramid. You may have to readjust the feet here a little bit. So to take a look down, you want to see those feet on railroad tracks, right? They don't want to be in alignment. They want to be just about hip width distance apart, about a good 2 to 3 feet distance between them in this pyramid. Rooting through, finding length. Inhaling, bringing that chest on up, chin is tucked. Exhale, coming on down. reaching. You can have your hands either reach for your shins, calves, ankles, or at the ground. Focus here should be keeping a slight micro bend in that front knee to protect that joint. Back leg is staying extended. You really want to feel like that chest is driving into those thighs, trying to touch your knee with your nose, and finding length by reaching the crown of the head to the toes. Be mindful of the breath in this shape. With the inhale, rise on back up to the top. From here, we're going to go into our warrior 3. So with the inhale, pressing off that back foot, keeping it lengthened and extended. Finding your drishti, your focal point, core is engaged. Begin to hinge on down while bringing that back leg up into the sky. Keeping length, focus should be length in that leg here. Center in the breath. You have the options here to keep the hands at heart center, or you can extend them out in front of you. Losing my balance here just a little bit. No 2 days are ever the same. Some days you got the balance, some days you don't. But it's a matter of just doing it every day. Also take it into airplane if you'd like. And with the exhale coming, bringing those hands down to our 3-point balance, keeping that right leg extended out. Foot is flexed. You can find your hands at your ankles or plant them on your foot beside you as we move into our Ardha Chandrasana, our half moon. Keeping that length. Inhaling and bringing that right arm up into the sky. Turning that chest. Exhale, release. Bring that right leg back to center to meet the left. Inhale, rise on up. It's about really putting yourself in those moments of difficulty and pushing through it. Finding the strength from within, that inner warrior. As we move on to the other side, bringing the weight into that right leg, finding a slight bend in that left. We'll come up into our Pada A on the other side. So we're bringing it to a 90-degree angle. Reaching for the soles of the feet. If you'd like, grab that big toe with the middle and index finger. Press that leg on out. Ensuring you have that extended spine. Focus. Find the breath. You, with every inhale, driving a little bit further. Bringing it into our Pada B, coming out to the side. I'm gonna take a slight bend in the knee here. Once I find my focal point, try to reach for those toes. Press out. Coming back to center, and then doing our Pada D by lifting that leg up as far as you can, keeping those hands at the hips. Exhaling it on back into our pyramid on the other side. Checking in with those feet, making sure that they're aligned on some tracks, railroad tracks, about hip width distance apart, and then about 3 feet of distance between them. Inhaling, bringing the chest up, driving the crown of the head up into the sky. Exhale, on down. Folding over, hinging at those hips. Mindful of the breath here. the inhale coming on up. Keeping that back flat. We're going to be pressing off into our warrior three. Coming off, we're flying. Focus, core engaged, hinge. Find those hands either at heart center, keeping them on the hips, driving length in that back leg, keeping it flexed in the foot. On the balance within. Coming on down into our 3-point balance series. Finding those hands at the ankles or by the feet. Mindful of the breath, pressing that leg out behind you. Moving into our half moon on this side. So planting that right hand down right in front of that front foot. I like to kind of have pressing on my fingertips and then begin to extend that left hand out, opening up that chest. Exhaling on down, coming back, bringing that left foot to meet the right. Folding over. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, rising up above. Exhale, gratitude. Good time here to take a little break, grab some water, take a little rest, wipe off, towel off. As we'll move into our ab series next here. So once you've had a chance to take care of the body, do what you need to do there, go ahead and come on down into a seated position while knees bent, soles of the feet planted into the ground. And then we'll lean back, holding those hamstrings. Coming back down, back on the ground. Sorry, I had to move up a little bit. So now bring the legs up off the ground into a 90-degree angle. We're gonna start with some crunches here. So on my count, we're gonna do 10. Now we're gonna do 10 leg lifts, extending those legs out, coming back into that bend, extending them out. All right, here we go. 1, and exhaling at the top. 2, 3, not pushing with your hands, but leading with your abs. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Go into our leg lifts, so dropping, heels touch the ground. 1, 2, you're inhaling on the way down, exhaling on the way back up, pressing those abs and engaging them. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Come on, push through the burn. I know you got this. Come on, 10. Woo! Go ahead and release. Ooh, buddy. Oh yeah. We're feeling that. Guess what? We got one more round of that. Let's go ahead and start it up here. Bring those feet on up into that 90-degree angle. Bringing the hands behind the head. Going with the cue here. 1, 2, 3. Exhaling at the top. 4, 5, 6. Driving with the core, not with the hands. 8, 9, 10. Leg extensions. 1. Heels touch the ground. 2. Inhaling on the way down. Exhaling on the way up. Inhaling on the way down. Exhaling on the way up. 5, 6, 7, 8. Come on, I know it's burning, but we love that burn. 9, last one here. fire we grow. Find that fire within, release. Woo! Alright. Oh man, so here we're gonna go ahead and hug ourselves, bring those knees into the chest. Showing yourself some love. Maybe swaying side to side. And then we'll rock and roll our way up into a seated position as we go on to our seated series. So we'll start off with our Janu Shavasana, so bringing that right leg in, bending it and pushing that foot into that left thigh. Left leg is extended out, foot is flexed. We're gonna inhale, bring those arms up into the sky. Exhale, release on over and reach. You can either reach for your thighs, calves, ankles, feet, even plant the hands on the ground. Find what's right for you. Leading with the crown of the head. Maybe with every inhale, lifting a little bit, and exhale, deepening into that stretch. Finding a point. There's no pain or discomfort, but there is that feeling of fire, right? Feeling of getting a nice length, finding that length. Take some mindful breaths here. Inhale, bring those arms out above. Exhale, release. Let's go on to the other side now. Taking that left leg, bringing it in to meet the right thigh. Sole of the foot is on that right thigh. Right leg is extended out, foot is flexed. Inhaling those arms out above. Exhale, reaching, expanding. Fine. Moment here to check in with the body. Notice how it feels. Where's the mind? How does the soul feel? The inhale, bringing those arms out above. Exhale to the side. As we move into our bound angle here, we'll take the soles of the feet, press them in together. A couple options here. If you want more of a hip opener, bring those feet in. If you want more of a back opener, take them out a little bit. I'm going to have mine in a little bit of a neutral position here, clasping those toes with the hands. Inhale, lengthening the spine. Exhale, folding on over. Every inhale, rising a little bit, exhaling further deep into the stretch. Just like the waves behind me, flowing, we're moving. The inhale, rising on up above. Maybe taking some hammock sways here. Great way to counter that stretch. Coming back to bent knees, we're gonna work our way down to the ground. Clasping those hamstrings, working our way down and having the back meet the mat. Keeping those knees bent, we're gonna move into our bridge. You also have the option here to go into your wheel if you'd like, if that's in your practice. If you're going into a bridge, keep those feet as close as you can to those glutes. Drive and root through the soles of the feet. Palms are going to be facing up, shoulder blades pressed in. Maybe you have to lift them a little bit so you can really press those shoulder blades into the ground. And then with the inhale, pressing on up, driving that hip up into the sky. Find greater range here by pressing the soles into the ground. I almost feel like you want to press them out while still keeping the same position. This will fly the hips up even further. You also have the option to clasp those hands. Bring the shoulder blades together, open up the chest. As I mentioned, you also have the option to go into wheel here. This is a great release of the lower lumbar spine, an area where a lot of pain and tension is held. Those who work at a desk or on the road a lot, this is an amazing release. And exhale, dropping it down to the ground. Bringing those knees in, show yourself some love. Rocking side to side a little bit, massaging that lower back, relieving it, any tension. And then we'll move into our inversion here, so bringing those arms up, you can go into a waterfall, or we have a couple other options as well. You can go into a half shoulder stand, so if you're going on up there, rocking and rolling on up, bringing those hands at the bottom, the lower back and hip area, as support. Elbows are planted into the ground as kickstands. You also have the option to go into a plow here if you'd like, so bringing those legs out behind. If you go into a plow, make sure those toes are touching the ground. If they're not, move your weight back up into a half shoulder stand. If you're in the half shoulder stand, you can find some movement, or even in a waterfall, you can widen those legs, bring them front to back. Moment to just be free and whatever the body desires. Go ahead and hug those knees in, releasing on down, bringing those legs out, extending them, releasing them. Go into our supine spinal twist, so taking that left leg, hugging it into the chest, really pressing it into that armpit area. Bringing it out into that 90-degree angle, and then twisting on over, bringing that knee down to meet the ground, keeping that right leg extended out, arms go out into a T, gaze goes to the opposite hand, driving that shoulder blade into the ground. You want to ensure that your upper shoulder blades, your upper body is planted. The right leg is extended. Mindful of the breath here. And bringing that leg back on over, unwinding, taking a supine tree as a nice counter here. So bringing that left foot into that right thigh. And then releasing that leg out to meet the right, and then we'll bring the right leg in, hugging it into the chest. Pressing it into that armpit area. Mindful of the breath. And then bringing it back out to that 90 degrees. And twisting it on over into our supine spinal twist on the other side. Arms out to a T. Gaze goes over the opposite hand. Planting that shoulder blade into the ground. Left leg is extended, right leg is bent. Unwind gently, coming back into a supine tree. Taking that right foot into that left thigh. Feeling that hip open up. And then releasing. So we begin to let everything go, to go into our Shavasana. Finding comfortable position in this laying down. Releasing the feet off to the sides, letting go of any tension that you may have. Palms can be facing up to the sky. You can have them facing down, or you can bring one hand to your chest, one to your belly. Find what's right for you. And as you find that comfortable position, begin to deepen that breath. Drawing out that exhale through the mouth. One more round here as you release through the mouth. Visualize the body melting, releasing, letting go. Awaken the body, bringing your awareness back into the room, noticing any sounds, noticing how the body feels, maybe finding a little movement in the fingers and in the toes, maybe swaying that head side to side. With the inhale, we'll rise those arms out above overhead, really lengthening, finding space in the body. And exhaling on over to your favorite side into our fetal position, finding a slight bend in those knees. And placing the head over that bottom arm that's still extended out. Inhale, pressing on up into our comfortable seat. Finding our hands at heart center. I want to thank you for showing up today, for taking that time for yourself. Many times, the stresses of life are always on the go, we're always so busy, but this was a moment for you to love yourself, to show gratitude for yourself, and find that joy and light within that we all have. I wish you peace in your mind, love in your heart, and joy in your soul. Namaste. Peace, my friends.